Yeah, when it comes to Martins O'Shea, the very dark man, I always ask myself, what is the meaning of the ring on your nose? What is the ring for? Like, what are you? Are you like a homosexual? Are you bisexual? Are you like, what is the message you're trying to pass across with a ring on your nose? Is it because for people like me, whenever I come across his videos, I notice this is an observation. I notice that when he doesn't have that ring on his nose and he's saying some things, and listen, I try to understand what he's saying. But when I come across, I'm scrolling, and I see him with a ring on his nose. I don't know. I'm not able to listen to what he's saying. I most likely I scroll up, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. So my question to him or to why do you have a ring on your nose? Why do you have a ring on your nose? What is the message? And secondly, what do you do for a living? Is it because you should, very dark man talks about integrity, and I don't doubt him, because I don't doubt him. I have no reason to doubt him. But I believe that it will make more sense if you have a credible source of income. For example, if you look at other activists like Aisha Yusufu, you find that Aisha is a builder. She's a developer. She builds houses and sells. According to her, she has animal feed factory and some other businesses she does. She sells gold. She travels. She buys stuff. She sells. So one can tell what she does for a living. If you look at others like Shiori. Shiori is the MD, is the owner of Sahara Reporters. So you can see what he does for a living. If you look at people like Deji Adeyanju, I'm not a fan of some of these people. I'm just using, necessarily a fan. I'm just telling you how it is. If you look at somebody like Deji Adeyanju, for example, Deji Adeyanju has a law firm. He's a lawyer. So he earns, they have, although he does a lot of pro bono cases, but at the end of the day, obviously there are people who would prefer somebody of that nature to represent him. And he has staff, he pays salary, so he earns. For Martins O'Shea, very dark man, what do you do for a living? Now, if you say you earn from your YouTube views, video views, that is fantastic, that is great. But let people know because you're acting like you're. And again, if you earn from your YouTube views, if that's your objective, sometimes it's difficult to trust people like that because you do anything to get your views, okay, including mudslinging and backbiting, and so your objectives becomes, is not very clear, especially with a ring on your nose. My point is that activism nowadays has been turned over to people with questionable knowledge, people who are not really very knowledgeable about the world. In the old days, you have somebody like Barrister Gani Fawahimi, people who are very well read. He had Professor Wole Soyinka, he had Professor Patitomi. Those were the activists of the days. And of course, now they are tired. They have given up on the country, and you can't blame them. So, but the next set of activists now, who are supposed to be professionals, they have run away from the country. Others are minding their business in various industries. So we appreciate people like Very Dark Man. See, because these people, like Very Dark Man and what's his name, the other guy, C King or Loco, they are ready. They have the capacity to go to jail. I don't have that capacity. You see, they have nothing to lose, so they are. We will appreciate them, but it would be nice if they can at least somebody like Very Dark Man can at least educate yourself more, read up on some, get some information. Because when you talk, sometimes it shows you're not very learned. Then the ring on your nose, on his nose. I don't know. For me, I just hope a lot of more Nigerians, very learned people. For example, when I mean learned, what what was the last book Very Dark Man read about? When I mean book, like, listen, if you don't read, you can learn. So let us leave it at that. What was the last book Very Dark Man read about life, about society, about democracy, about politics, about information, about, there's a wide array of knowledge you need to have to be able to engage about law, about policy, about constitutional law. activism in Nigeria, I won't say it's dead, but I think it's been left to people of questionable knowledge. People would ring on their nose, also all manner of people. Well, it is what it is. Well, we value them, we thank them for their activism, but please, very dark man, if you can see this video, get the ring off your nose because you're losing a certain quality of viewers. Get the ring off your nose so that your message can be clear. With that ring on your nose, your message is not clear. People don't understand who you are, what you're all about, what you're good. I cannot have my child, my son, be your role model. I cannot have you be a role model to my child or to the many young men around me with that ring on your nose. I don't want my son walking around with a ring on his nose. I don't want my nephews, nieces, cousins walking around with a ring on their nose. So you see, why would I want a very dark man to be a role model around the young people around me? So my take. Let me see what you think in the comment section. Please, no insults. Just share your opinions.